Welcome to Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Stephen Davies.
So awesome to be here. It is Wednesday. It is 12:30, and I'm hosting the TWC this week. I was just watching the Ireland commercial and just getting fired up about that. That trip is going to be epic. We have done that trip before. Let me tell you something. That trip will blow your mind. And you got to win the extension. You got to win the extension. Killarney is one of the most hauntingly beautiful places on earth. When we go to Killarney, we're going to do the Gap of Dunloe. This will be the coolest thing you have ever done. I promise you that. I promise you that the Gap of Dunloe will blow your mind. So if you already won Dublin or you're on pace to win Dublin, awesome. Can you win Killarney? Can you win the extension? I know you can. I know you can. It's only August. If you went crazy the rest of the year, I know you could win Killarney, because let me tell you something. There's only two. Well, I don't know which is worse. Now to think about it, you say one thing worse than missing the trip is missing the extension. Missing the trip is pretty bad. I mean, don't miss the trip, but then don't miss the extension. You don't want to have to leave before we go to Killarney. Killarney's gonna be awesome. So wherever you're at, figure out where you're at. Figure out how many points you need. Let me tell you something. It would be worth standing on your head for the rest of the year, if that's what it took, because Killarney is going to be that awesome. And when you win Killarney, I want you to come talk to me and say, I am so glad I did. Oh my God, this is so awesome. I'm just telling you, it's that trip gives me cold chills just thinking about it. I cannot wait to go there again. I am so excited about that trip. All right, so let's get started today on the TWC. Here's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about emotional strength. The reason I want to talk about emotional strength is because it's absolutely necessary to accomplish anything worth accomplishing. Anything worth accomplishing is going to take a heck of a lot of emotional strength. Why? Here's why. Anything worth accomplishing is hard, right? Is anything that comes easy ever that fulfilling? Can you think so? Well, that was easy. That was super fulfilling. Right? Guess what's easy? Opening a door. If you open a door, that's easy, right? You ever opened a door and went, oh my God, when I think about the times when I was on the other side of that door and against all odds, I reached up, I grabbed that knob, I gave it a turn, but it didn't open yet. So I had to turn a little harder. No. Anything easy that doesn't bring fulfillment. And you know this because you've done something hard. You've pushed through, you've accomplished something, and you know what it feels like to accomplish something worth accomplishing. Let me tell you something. Going partner at integrity, that's big. That is worth accomplishing. I want you to go partner with integrity. So what do we need? We're going to need emotional strength because it's worth doing. Same thing applies to your life. One of the things I always tell people, and this is just Holly and I, we want anybody that we're around, that we're having an effect on, to be what we say is happy, healthy, and wealthy. We want you to be happy. We want you to be healthy. And when you hear me say wealthy, don't think, oh, you're just about the money. That is a component. I mean, we're in business. So I would like you to be successful at business, but it's so much more than that. It's time, it's relationships, it's all that stuff. Let me tell you something. Anything worth accomplishing like that, you're going to need emotional strength. You want to have a great marriage, you got to have emotional strength. You want to raise functional adults that you can be friends with and have close bonds with through life. It's going to take a lot of emotional strength. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about emotional strength. And in order to do that, what I'm going to talk about is 7 attributes of emotionally strong people. And as I talk about these attributes, here's how I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to invite you to look at it that way with me. You don't have to. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at these 7 things, and I'm going to go, where am I at on a 1 to 10 on that? Where am I at currently on a 1 to 10 on that? The reason being, we go through stages in life. As I was preparing, I was looking at some of these things, and I was looking at like one of them, and I went, I used to be better at that. What happened? What happened? Oh, I let that affect me. And I let that affect me. I need to get closer back to a 10. Does that make sense? That's how I'm going to look at it. I encourage you to look at it like that with me. But before we get started, we've all got to agree to one thing. Can we all agree? All right, put your hand in there. Let's agree. Right hand, left hand, you choose. I don't know, put your right leg up. You're allowed. This is your, choose your own way to make the vow. How about that? The vow is, I can become emotionally stronger, because anybody can become emotionally stronger. Emotional strength is just another muscle. When someone needs to get better, they send them to rehab to get stronger, right? They've been through a surgery, their body's been through some trauma, they send them to rehab to get stronger. People go to the gym to what? Get stronger. If you keep going to the gym and lifting enough, guess what? You'll get stronger. Same thing with emotional strength. Can we all agree to that? That any one of us can become emotionally stronger? So all of us, I can become emotionally stronger. That's what I want to talk about today. Here's 2 turns of phrase I want to give you to think about, okay? On any of these things, the defeatist phrase is, that's just the way I am. That's just the way I am. That's what weak people say. That's what emotionally weak people say. Here's what emotionally strong people say. Oh, that's just the way I've been letting myself behave. That's just the way I've been letting myself behave. I'm going to change it, right? Emotionally weak. Well, that's just the way I am. You got to accept me for who I am. Okay, buttercup. That's the way I've been behaving. I'm going to get better. That's how I'm going to look at this. I'm looking at these things going, if I've been behaving less than I can, which, by the way, on someone, I am going to get better. All right? So let's get right into it. Number 1, emotionally strong people are proactive with their emotions. They're proactive with their emotions. Emotionally weak people let the day happen to them, let the feelings take control of them, and let their emotions guide them. Now, I'll say it again. Emotionally weak people let the day happen to them. They let the feelings take control of them, and they let the emotions guide them. This is why emotionally weak people have so many bad days. If you're, maybe you're related to someone like this. It's like, have you ever had a good day? Have you ever had a good day? Because I haven't heard you have one yet. And here's the crazy thing. They genuinely think it's just that I'm so unlucky. That's what they think. They think like the universe has conspired to put all crap and doo-doo just right on top of them. They think that's the case. But the problem is they let the day happen to them. They let the feelings control them, take control of them, and then they let their emotions guide them. That's what emotionally weak people do. That's why they have so many bad days. That's why they're so unproductive. That's why they're always angry, always stirred up, right? Yeah, anybody relate to anybody like that? You see them coming and you're kind of like, getting your strategy ready. I was teaching Brandon Manley how to pass them off, right? Why? Because it's just, they're pissed off, they're upset. Somebody done cut them off in traffic, and we just don't want this. We got a strategy. Pass them off. Here we go. All right. Those are the people that, like, some people bring joy when they walk into a room. Some people bring joy when they leave the room. That's what emotionally weak people do. When they leave the room, everybody's like, "Whoo, thank God that's over." Start the music, right? Don't let the day happen to you. Let the feelings take control of you, and then let your emotions guide you. Do the opposite. Here's a magic phrase, okay? Write this down. This phrase will give you freedom. When I feel blank, I will blank. When I feel blank, I will blank. Think of the emotions you feel that are unhelpful. You just got to have a plan. Does that make sense? Think about this. Football season's getting ready to start. What does a defense do? They scheme up a way to stop the offense. When they're meeting in a meeting room, they go, "Hey, Joe, y'all want to do this weekend? I mean, what do you think? Maybe cover 2. I don't know. Let's see what, hey, let's see what happens when we get in there. Right? No, a good defense is they're scheming. They're going, I know how that joker likes to use their slot receiver, and they like to cover them up. I know. And so they get a plan, so they're ready. Same deal with our emotions that are unhelpful. It's not denial, it's strategy to beat it. When I feel blank, I will blank. Very, very simple. Have a plan. What are some of the plans I use? I use wordplay. When someone irritates me, I use a fun turn of phrase to make it less irritating. I like to use words not like that idiot, that jerk, that jerk. I like to say things like, well, that scallywag. You can't say scallywag and be mad anymore. You just can't. I dare you. It just changes it. You got someone that has emotional dominion over you, turn them into a caricature. Give them a giant head in your mind. Put them on a hot air balloon, have it crash, let them get attacked by ninjas. I don't know. Create something that will make you laugh. I have scenes I will 100% go watch because I know that scene always makes me laugh. So it doesn't matter what strategy you do. I like gratitude too. When I feel discouraged, I will reach for gratitude. What am I grateful about? Does that make sense? Call someone stronger than you. There's all kinds of strategies, but it's when I feel blank, I will blank. Because here's the choice. The choice at the end of the day is either we master our emotions or they master us. There's no third choice here. There's not just like, well, I'll just never experience a negative emotion again. Okay, I'll have what they're having. It's not an option. Either I master my emotions or my emotions master me. Can you see why most people are so unproductive? They let the day happen to them. They let the feelings take control of them. And then they let their emotions guide them. That's why they're so unproductive. Emotionally strong people are proactive with their emotions. That's why emotionally strong people start their day right. They start their day with the good stuff, putting the good stuff in their minds and their hearts. Because we know, you and I know what's going to happen as soon as we start, right? No battle plan survives contact with the enemy. We know what's going to happen once we get out there. So we got to start the day right. We got to have a plan. And it's not that I'll be clear. I'm not saying I am master of my emotions. Let me tell you something. Earlier yesterday, I was pouting good and hard. And I had to go, wait a second. We don't pout. When I feel pouty, I will boom. Does that make sense? So it's not that you ever master your emotions. It's just we get better at correcting. Remember, consistency is not perfection. It's constant correction. All right, number 2. Emotionally strong people don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They just don't. I've got to give a plug here. Mercedes was texting me and Holly right before the call. If you don't know Gustavo Mercedes Tehran, you need to get to know this couple. Seriously, they inspire me and Holly. Inspire us. Gustavo just ended 53 days in the hospital. A good chunk of that in ICU, battling through what they're battling through. It's all through it. Mercedes has written business and recruited people. And guess what? She texted me and Holly this morning and go, can't wait to watch the TWC. This will be the first one out of the hospital in 53 days. That's what I'm talking about. That's if you want to know what emotional strength looks like, it looks like that text message I got this morning. Golly, that inspires me. And I'm just going, God, if she's outperforming someone, that's just inspiring to me. In spite of all that. It's just amazing, inspiring people. Gustavo Mercedes, Holly and I love you guys so much. All right, so to talk about feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, let me reverse and rephrase. To talk about not feeling sorry for yourself and how to do that, I want to give Diana Castile a little bit of time here. Diana, talk to us about not feeling sorry for yourself and why that's so key, and maybe a few things you do to make sure that again, you and I ain't perfect. We're just trying to spend less time feeling sorry for ourselves. So maybe a few strategies.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for inviting me on the call to speak today. I really appreciate it. For those of you who may or may not know myself and my husband, I am married to the modern day $6 million man, probably literally and figuratively at this moment. Shortly after Michael and I got married, we have a blended family, and we've got 6 kids between us. And I told him, I was like, honey, I love you, but if something happens to you, we are going to be up correct, because we had 4 of those 6 kids still living at home. So, he went to have a physical. And side note, this is why I 100% tell people all the time that fully underwritten policies are some smoking hot trash, because it will screw you over. So he went, had a physical. We found out that he had kidney disease, and the wheels on our bus fell off very quickly, because when we found out he had kidney disease, we also found out that he only had 7% kidney function. And so he was on dialysis within 6 months. So we lost our business, we lost our house, we lost our vehicles. We ended up having to file for bankruptcy. Like, it was just a nightmare. Like, literally everything happened all at once. And so we still had, to take care of our kids, everything. And at the same time that we found out that he had to go on dialysis, we were fighting with disability, because they were like, well, with his age and education and his work experience, they denied him for his disability, even though dialysis should be an automatic qualifier for disability. It was not. I got hurt at work. I ended up having to have shoulder surgery, found out that even though I was a manager where I worked at, I got a letter in the mail that said, by the way, we're going to continue your insurance, but we are canceling all of your family's insurance. So the bill started adding up very quickly. And that's when I also decided, hey, had a conversation with Stephen, what's this deal that you're doing now? And so that's how I got started in the insurance industry, because I didn't want anybody else to end up where I was at with my family. And, I had different ones that were having conversations with me, because there were a lot of different times that while I was out working, Michael was in the hospital. We literally almost lost him 3 different times throughout this trial that we were going through with his health. Like, he literally almost died 3 different times. And he's in the hospital, I'm out running business, and I had some folks that are like, I can't believe your husband's in the hospital and you left him there all alone. I'm like, he ain't alone. He's got some doctors and nurses. Like, what am I going to do? I got an insurance license. I got a couple of college degrees, but what I don't have is a medical license. I can't help him in the hospital, but what I can do is keep going out there and working. It's about perspective. You can look at it like you're eating tuna under a bridge, or you're having seafood by the water. It's one or the other. Well, you know what? We were having seafood by the water. It is what it is. Because you got to look at it which way you want to take that and run with it. And life is going to keep happening. So you've got to decide on, do you want to have life happen to you, or do you want to work with what you have coming towards you and keep moving through it? Because it's going to keep moving, so you can decide whether you want to keep moving through it. As simple as that. And we just decided that we were going to keep moving through it, And so that's what we did, is we just kept on moving. And, and stuff still keeps going and still keeps happening. But we just, we make the commitment that we're going to continue to move, because if you're moving, then you're going to move through it. Andy says something once, and the first time I heard it, it resonated. He said, because people are always either going through something, or you're either going through something, coming out of something, or getting ready to go through something. And we're always in some stage of that within our lives. And if you remember that, then even if you're going through something, then you know that if you keep moving, you're going to be able to get out of it. But if you just stop and you start feeling sorry for yourself, you're never going to be able to get out of it. Anybody got time for that? You can't get time back. You cannot get time back. So what difference does it make if you're going to sit there and feel sorry for it? You can't buy that time back. So why waste that time that you can't get back feeling sorry for yourself?
I love it. And that is so true, right? Time spent feeling sorry for ourselves is life wasted. What can I do instead? And self-pity is a product of exaggerating our negative circumstances, because what we focus on grows. So when someone becomes helpless in self-pity, it's because they focused on that to where to the point that it's exaggerated and grown, that it's all encompassing. That's why I get inspired by people like you, Diane. That's why I get inspired by people like Gustavo and Mercedes. We could do this. Yes, we could sit and wallow, but we can't pursue excellence at the same time. We can't complain and lead. Now, don't get me wrong, and we're going to come to this a little later on. We all have those days. But if we want to pursue excellence, we can't spend time here. And again, how I'm going to look at this training, I'm going, where am I at on a 1 to 10? 1 to 10, where am I at? How can I get better? We shared a strategy inside of this one that will help. When I will. That will help us all rebound faster. Diana, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your story.
You said something that I wanted to make sure that I shared with other people, with the rest of the folks here. Surround yourself with people that will help lift you up, because I could not get through any of the stuff that we have been through without the help of people that will lift us up. Because there have been times when I'm like, ooh, I need to get my mind right. I need to get my mind right. And so I will reach out. I've reached out to people. I'm like, okay, like help me get my thinking right. And so you've got to have people that will be in your corner. So when you get to those points, that you can have somebody that you can reach out to that will help you to, when you need those times, to get you out of that mental space that you're in when you need it.
Having a strategy. That's what works. I love it. Thank you, Diana. All right. Number 3, component, attribute of emotionally strong people. They don't allow others to control their relationship. This will be a tough one for my people pleasers out there. I'm just telling you, this is a tough one. Emotionally strong people don't allow others to control the relationship. Here's why. The way we operate by default, and this is like a cheat code in a video game. Let me just, if you'll just buy in, I'm telling you, it's like a cheat code on a video game. I don't even know if they have cheat codes in video games anymore. I might be dating myself. Or it's like a warp zone on Super Mario Brothers. Here's how it works by default, unless we take control of it. By default, the weaker emotionally person will control the relationship. Let me say that again. By default, the way we work as humans, the emotionally weaker person will control the relationship. Let's build a little bit on that. What are emotionally weak behaviors? You know any drama kings, drama queens? They're always stirring the drama. That's emotionally weak behavior. That's substituting drama. That's using drama to get attention. Does that make sense? Always stirring the drama. That's an emotionally weak behavior. Can you see the point we're talking about? By default, if we're not aware and take control, the emotionally weaker person dominates or controls the context of the relationship. That eats up emotion that should go to more productive things. Does that make sense? What are some other ones? Manipulators. Maybe you have a family member that everything has to revolve around them. They manipulate everything. That's emotionally weak behavior. See, unless you have this attribute of emotional strength, they'll dominate and control the context of the relationship. How about fit throwers? Anybody got a fit thrower in your family or a fit thrower in your world? It's like, we can't do that because she's going to lose it or he's going to lose it. They're going to throw a fit. And we got to go to their restaurant, right? Fit throwers. That's emotionally weak behavior, being a fit thrower. I'm going to throw a fit. That's emotionally weak. If we're not aware of this, they'll dominate the relationship. Does that make sense? Maybe you can think, when I first read this, I thought about it a lot. I was like, wow, there's a lot of dynamics for this. How about the guilt trippers? Ooh, maybe we got a guilt tripping mama, guilt tripping somebody just, that's emotionally weak behavior. That's not how emotionally strong people communicate. They don't use guilt on each other as a weapon. It's not really how people that really love each other operate, just to be quite frank. Or how about this passive aggressive? That's a big, this world becomes so passive aggressive. Everybody taking shots, throwing shade, right? That's emotionally weak behavior. And can you see how those behaviors, if you're not aware of this, that person will dominate the relationship. And then the whole thing has to revolve around them and their current spat of whatever they're in. Emotionally strong people don't fall into that trap because they take control of the relationship. And let me tell you something. I think about this. We have a new person that lives in proximity to us, and it's been interesting to watch their dynamic because I think they check all those boxes. God help them. And she's going, Steven. She likes to eat. She likes to chew into my name, get a hold of it. Steven. And I just laugh. And she said, why is he laughing at me? And she said, you don't even want to know. I was like, don't explain to her how I use sketch comedy therapy. But see, that person's used to controlling the relationship. Does that make sense? And they can't stand it when someone doesn't. Can't stand it. Let me tell you something. I'll roll down my window and wave. Hey, hello, neighbor. Do you want to be my neighbor? But if I didn't know that I'd be, oh my God, what's she upset about now? What can we do? 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 No. I've learned this through books. I've learned this through spending time around people like Andy Albright. And here's what it is. Emotionally strong people still honor relationships. They just guard against letting the difficult relationships control them. Let me say it again. Emotionally strong people still honor relationships. They just don't let dysfunctional or difficult relationships control them. That's the key difference. Yeah, I had someone say, but you don't understand. She's my mama, but she's so mean. And she's so, love her. She's your mama. Love her for you being your mama. Give her hugs, give her kisses, send her flowers. Honor the relationship, but don't let it control you. Make sense? So emotionally strong people don't can you see how all this just frees up so much room for productivity? So much room for winning? Remember what I told you, Holly and I want happy, healthy, wealthy. Can you see how you'd be a lot happier if we kept things in the right context? Can you see how you could build relationships with the people that are on the same path as you deeper? I mean, I think about some of my relationships in the Alliance, my relationship with the Leventoviches, how much I love Andy Riddle. Those relationships can't have depth if I'm tied up elsewhere. I only got so much to give. Does that make sense? So I've got to keep the other ones in their context. All right, let's get going. Number 4, Emotionally strong people don't waste time on things they can't control. I don't know about you, but when I look at that, I go, oh, I think I'm about to free up some more time and mental energy for myself. Let me tell you something. The things we can't control, we can't control. End of story. End of story. End of scene. Can't do anything about it. I want to get another guy on here that I was just spent some time with in Dallas. Man, that Dallas event was so, oh my God, it was awesome. But I want him to share some thoughts on this. Dan, are you on with us? Can you jump on and share some thoughts on not wasting time on things that we can't control? There he is. From the main street of Broomfield, Colorado.
Broomfield, Colorado, brother. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you, Davies. Appreciate you. And just for all of y'all that know Davies, he came out to Dallas and lit it up, man. I haven't stopped getting text messages from the value that you added. So we appreciate you, brother. So on this subject specifically, I feel like, it's the subject when it comes to running a business, running a family, running your life. This is the one thing where if you can develop this skill, and don't be mistaken, it is a skill. It is something that has to be developed over time. And sometimes people learn it at an early age. Sometimes people learn it later in life, but it's something that can absolutely be learned. And if you can master it, it will change your life. And not only will it change your life, but it'll give you the proximity and it'll give you the influence to help change other people's lives. And so when we're talking about, not being affected by the things you can't control, what I would say is, some of you are going to relate to this, right? I mean, everybody should relate to this, but the people that learn this early on, or maybe somebody that have gone through conflict. So whether that be you're a service member, you were a service member or are a service member of the military, or a firefighter or a policeman, or somebody, even school teachers these days, or maybe you just grew up in a really toxic environment, when you were growing up. You have to learn how to control these type of things. And so for me, this one's really close to my heart. I grew up, I was raised by my grandmother, and she had severe bipolar and schizophrenia. And so what that equated to was I never knew what I was going to get. When I walked into a room, I wasn't exactly sure who else was going to be in the room with me, if that makes sense. And so, there would be one second where things would be great, another second where things would be absolutely chaos, and there would be, guns or knives or different things involved. And so I had to learn really early on about having contingency plans. And so before I jump into everything, the one thing that I'd like you to write down is anticipation is power, reaction is pain. Anticipation is power, reaction is pain. And so what I mean by that is that I had to develop contingency plans. I had to develop, if this happens, here is what I do. And that allowed me to survive my childhood, in the sense that, if I saw certain characteristics, I knew that I had to leave that situation, or I knew that I had to call somebody, or I knew that I had to, be a certain person, or talk somebody down, or if that I saw another person in that room, what I would have to do. And that translated and has served me in business and in life, ongoing. And so what I would say is, the best thing you can do is develop a GPS for your life. What do I mean by that? Every one of us have a goal. Otherwise you wouldn't be on this call right now. Right? So you have a goal, you have a destination in mind. And when you sit down with your mentor, or you sit down after a training, or even today, and you map out, here is my destination, and here are the different things I have to do to get to that destination. Here are the different turns and exits that I have to take on this journey, just like a GPS. And just like a GPS, we have to account for things going wrong. So what if there's a crash? What if a road gets shut down? What if someone doesn't show up to my appointment? What if, I don't get the dials in, or there's a family emergency? All of these different things that can get in the way and happen and disrupt our plan of getting to where we want to be. If we plan for it ahead of time, it's as simple as rerouting. It's as simple as rerouting, Stephen, because if we are sitting in traffic and we don't have a contingency plan, we don't have an alternate route to our destination, now we are sucked in with everybody else, and we are reacting to the traffic, and we are reacting to the crash, and we're reacting to the chaos, and we're feeding into it, and we're getting all pissed off, and we're saying, why me? I'm running late. This is happening to me, going back to our earlier points. But if you plan ahead and you say ahead of time, well, on my way, what if there's a crash? Well, I could take this route and still get there. All right. So in the same way in your business and in your life, have contingency plans with anything. In the military, the greatest commanders are the ones that have contingency plans for everything. So when you're setting your goals, what you want to do is say, here's where I'm going, and this is how I'm going to get there. But what if I have a family emergency? Okay, alternate route, plan it out. What if I have a no-show on in my appointments? Perfect. Here's my pre-planned alternate route. What if my car breaks down on the way there? What if a spouse calls me unloading on their day because they had a bad day, right? If you have a route planned, an alternate route planned along the way for all of these different things that could happen, now you are not reacting. You have anticipation, you have a plan, and now you're not going to be affected by it. Now it's more of a habit, and it's a ritual, not a reaction. And so what I would recommend is at the end of this call, everybody sit down and start writing out your goal, your route to get there, and all the contingencies, all of the different routes you could take if something comes up. And, again, I'll just reiterate, reaction is pain, anticipation is power. Many people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. So make it easier on yourself and the people around you. Have backup plans, and that'll help you to not get sucked into every little thing that goes wrong and keep you on route to your destination.
That was some good stuff, man. Anticipation is power. Reaction is pain.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. I'm like going, that helps here. That helps here. That helps here. You know what I'm saying? Like that helps everywhere. You're there. Thank you, brother. Hey, it was awesome being in Dallas with you, man. I love my team. We've got people all over the country. I'm so grateful for our team. When I get out there and get to spend time with people that are in the fight with us, God, I just feel it. That's fills my heart up, man. Love being there with you guys. Thanks for sharing that stuff. Good stuff, man. And thanks for sharing. When people share personal history like you've seen on the call, doesn't it make you love them more? Who loves Dinah Castile more now? Who loves Gustavo Mercedes more now? Who loves Dan Hoyt more now? I'm just telling you, we spend so much time wasting trying to put up a projection when the reality is we love you. Does that make sense? I love it. What are some things I can control? I can control my attitude. I can control my actions. I can control my thoughts, not perfectly, but I can go, dude, don't think that. That can't be. I can control my time. I can control my priorities. I can control my potential and what I do. I can control all those things. What can I control? I can't control the past. What had happened? I can't control that. It's in the past. How many people spend their time trying to control it? It's in the past. Let's let it go. I've really screwed up some stuff in my life. I've had some stuff really get screwed up on me in my life. I've had some screwed up stuff happen. I'm just like you. It's in the past. Let it go. Let it go. Hey, what a carrier does. Do carriers do goofy things sometimes? Yeah, because they're run by a bunch of people like us, a bunch of imperfect people screwing stuff up all the time. Oh, that one policy and it don't let it. You can't control that. We can fix what we got from the point forward, but we don't let it control you. Unfair things, they're going to happen. How about this? Past hurts, offenses, and grudges. We can't control that. We can't control how someone will behave in the future, but we can control us, our attitudes, our actions, our feelings. Carrying the past with us, especially old hurts, carrying a grudge is like carrying a rock that you want to put on someone else. It's just going to weigh you down. It's just going to weigh you down. I'm just telling you, don't waste time on things you can't control. I don't know about you. I'm making lists already in my head going, I got to stop worrying about that. I got to stop. I can't control that. Hey, I'm just trying to get to a 10 like you. We're in this together. We're all in this together. All right, number 5. Emotionally strong people don't keep making the same mistakes. Some of us are creative in the new ones we invent. Who's he talking to? I'm talking to me right now. I'm talking to me right now, thinking about a conversation I had with Holly. Well, can't accuse me of not being creative. Emotionally strong people, they don't keep making the same mistakes over and over. It's experience versus existence. It's experience versus existence. I think about this. How many people do you talk to when you're out there looking for, because we're always looking for help. We need people, man. We need help. And you talk to someone that's like, I got 30 years experience. I'm always going, do you? Or do you have 30 years of existence? Because those are two very different things. Does that make sense? Do you ever run a lead? It's like these people have been married 25 years, but they just got 25 years of existence in marriage, not 25 years of experience in marriage. Does that make sense? What I want me and you to do is spend more time in the experience box. I don't want us to just exist. I want us to be in the experience box. Here's how it works. Reflection turns experience into insight. Reflection turns experience into insight. Insight, when acted upon, turns it into wisdom. Experience, reflected upon, turns into insight. Insight, when acted upon, becomes wisdom. That's why some people go through life and become wise, and some people go through life and become bitter. Because they run the same things over and over and over and over. Bitter. This always happens to me. Okay. Let's evaluate. Let's reflect. I'm going to give you a quick exercise. I like to do this from time to time. I encourage you to as well. This column is 1 through 20 situations. Last 20 situations you went through in life. This column is did. This column is will. Just want you to think through the last 20 situations that you and I, we really beefed it. Man, we screwed up. We screwed up. The last 20 times, I let my emotions, I let the day happen to me. I let the feelings get a hold of me, and I let the emotions guide me, right? The last 20 times that happened. The last 20 times we got down in the dumps. The last 20 times we lost our cool. Those things, right? We all have them. Write down the situations. How did I react? How will I react in the future? Is having a plan. This ties in with what Hoyt said. Having a plan. Next time that happens, what I did not work. So I'm going to do this instead. Now, you're not going to be perfect at it because you're just like me. But what we can do is eliminate about 80% of the stuff that really, really gets us off track. The more we stay on track, the closer we are to partner. The more we stay on track, the closer we are to a happy, thriving life. Does that make sense? The more we stay on track, the closer we are to the things we want. The more we get off track, the further away we push it. Make sense? That's what this is all about. Let me tell you something. The reason emotionally strong people can do this is because they've made peace with their imperfections. Let me tell you something. Mistakes and goof ups, whatever you want to call them, are incredible teachers. But we can't learn from a teacher we're hiding from. I mean, think about it. A lot of kids are going back to school now. If your kid goes to school and hides from the teacher all the time, hides from the teacher the whole time, that turn of phrase shouldn't be that hard, Stephen. Hides from the teacher the whole time. Is he going to learn anything? No. So we can't do that with our mistakes. Don't be so afraid of mistakes. Don't fear mistakes more than we value learning. We can't fear mistakes more than we value learning. Let me tell you something. As for me, there's a lot of gold in there. I just can't be afraid of it, to get in there and mine it and make changes. That's what emotionally strong people do. Emotionally weak people, they deny, they blame, they justify, they excuse. Whose fault is it? It's their fault. Whose fault is it? Their fault. That's what emotionally weak people do. Not you and me. You and me are trying to get better. So what we got to do is go, what can I learn here so that I can get better in the future? I'm telling you, whether you want, hey, it's as simple as sales. When people say, dude, you're really good at teaching sales. I'm like, dude, it's because I was really bad at it for a while. I just got a ton of journals in my office where I journaled every appointment and figured out what didn't work and what I was going to try next time. I'm serious. Come to my office, come to my house. I will show you my journals. I was so bad for so long. All that stuff is just reflection. That's all it is. Remember, reflection takes experience. Experience reflected upon becomes insight. Insight acted upon becomes wisdom. That's how simple it works. All right, let's get going. I'm running out of time here. Number 6, because I do want to hear from my friend Mimi. She's a fighter. I got so many fighters, man. It's like I was thinking about on my team. I would start naming names and I'm going to screw up. And we got so many fighters. I'm so proud of all the fighters on our team. So if I didn't pick you today, it's because it's not my fault. I would like you to know it's Mac Hefner's fault. He said I could only have 3. So just so we're clear, I'm not to blame. I'm not supposed to do that. Don't do that. Never mind. It's my fault. Right. No, I wanted to have everybody, but it's funny because Tia used to be like, you can only have this many guests. I'm like, but I want this many. And then I have this many guests and I still run so tight on time. So I get it. But if I didn't pick you on this call on my team, I want you to know I'm proud of you. I know you're out there fighting too. Let me finish my thought here. They don't let highs or lows control them. You see, a lot of the subject is about control. With emotionally strong people is what they don't allow to control them. Here's what it is. It's not being driven by id or the super ego, as Freud would call it. It's called controlled consciousness. That's a lot of what being emotionally strong is. But Mimi, light us up for a few minutes. I know you just went through some stuff. Holly and I love you. We talk about you all the time. Don't let the highs or the lows control us. Give us a few things on that, please.
Thank you, Stephen. I love you guys too. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Okay, so the high and the lows. I love that one. And I knew why you picked me on this one too. I was like, Stephen is brilliant. He always picked your people. That's for sure. So thank you. Okay, so I was thinking about this, the high and the lows. Well, personally, I would say I have goals. And I'm a scientist in a sense. I don't know, a big blend of being in science and believing God and put you guys in the midst of it, kind of like keep me grounded. Seriously. Like I'm thinking, the nerdy part of me is thinking the law of equilibrium, right? So even nature tells us it's never good too far on the left or too far on the right because you will fall off, right? So that's the law of gravity and all. So if you're too down, you're not going to wake up. You're going to stink because you can't brush your teeth. You can do nothing. You're too depressed. If you're too high and you're partying too much, you're not going to get anything done either. So happiness and balance is right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Say it again.
I say happiness and balance is right in the middle. Okay? That's where productivity happens. That's where you can keep track of your goals and things like that. Because I'll tell you what I personally do. Like you mentioned, my dad just passed away exactly a month ago. Yesterday was a month. My dad passed away. When we were at Reno, Stephen, the day we done on that Monday, I got a call. Dad just went, he's gone. And they had to give him CPR for like 8 minutes to bring him back. 8 minutes, and he's 86 years old. So that was like, whoa, okay, what do I do? I just got all hyped up with this amazing convention and everything. Now, Dad just had CPR, a ventilator on and all that. So what do I do? And then I was like, take a deep breath. What can you control? Like what you were saying, what can you control or not control? So then what did I do? I have, like what you guys been talking about, I have a set of people that I reach out to. I got my circle, that circle of trust. I have it. I have people like Diana was saying, when I'm down, I know who to get a hold of to bring me back up. So I don't stay low. So I'm aware of my emotion very well. I know when I'm too excited or depressed. I don't stay there for long. So I set up time boundary for myself. So how long am I gonna stay down? And if I am down, what am I gonna do to get out of it? I reach out to people. I reach out to you guys, to Andy. I talk to Diana. I talk to a lot of people in the alliance because you guys motivate me. And I know you guys are all going through things as well, but you keep your head up. Not that it doesn't affect you. I tell people, they're like, Mimi, well, your dad just passed away. So he ended up passing away a month ago. How do you keep going? I keep going because I'm at peace. I keep going because I allow myself to feel his loss and mourn his loss, but I have a time limit. I'm gonna go to work no matter what, and I feel sad. I'm gonna cry for a few minutes. I'm aware of my emotion and I'm in control of it. I cry, I get sad, I look at his picture, and then I move on. Does that make sense? So that's how I control my lows. I read books, I listen to positive things. And then one thing you taught me a few years back is I make a list of the things that I have overcome in the past so I can pull my strength. Because you need it when you're low. Because you're not going to achieve anything at your lowest point. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is go back. It's like you have the pendulum. You don't want it too far to the left. You want it in the middle. So to pull me out, I read books. I talk to you guys. I talk to good friends and family to pull my strength. I make my list and all that. That's how I get out of the negative so I can go back to the middle. Okay? Because that's where I can meet my goals. If I'm too far on the right, then I check my ego. Okay, don't do that. Maybe your ego puts you too high on the pedestal, so then you can't focus. You can't focus on the next thing, you know? So I create new goal for myself.
Yep.
Because I create my new uncomfortable zone. Because if I'm too comfortable on my high, if I'm too comfortable, then I'm like, oh, I arrived. No, you're not there yet. So create a new uncomfortable zone so you can keep pushing forward, so you rebalance yourself, stay centered. Not that you don't enjoy your high, like if you have a great agent, you make a big month, you enjoy it, but don't stop there. Go back.
Yep.
Stay focused on your goal and be humble and keep going. That's pretty much how I deal with things. That's what's been helping me, Stephen.
I love it. I love it. And I respect the heck out of your example, you know. And truth be told, when we lose someone we love, that's what they would want. They would want us to be sad for a little bit, but they would want us to continue to excel and achieve. I told everybody in Dallas, if I die, I know exactly what I want all my friends and family to spend. I know exactly what I want them to do. I want them to spend the rest of their lives trying to bring me back. No, I'm kidding. No, that's what they would want. They would say they would want us to be sad, but then they'd say, get on with it. You know, like Andy's dad. When Andy's dad was dying, he said, "Get up in there," right? He said, "Go build the alliance." So I love it. I appreciate your example. You're right. Anybody that hangs around me for more than 5 minutes hears me say, "Strength's in the middle." Strength's always in the middle. Whatever scale we're on, strength is in the middle. Because let me tell you something. You're going to have this is how your business will go. You'll have highs, and then you'll have fallbacks, and then it's going to look like that. You don't want to get here and be like, well, I'm never again going in the field. I've graduated. Things will be like this from henceforth on into forever. Oh, let us enjoy it's telling you. There's a difficulty coming. Get your mind right. You also don't want to go here and be like, oh, it's never going to get better. It's never going to get better. No, strength's in the middle. You might spend some time there. I remember Robbie Kraft called me and another guy, something bad had happened. I think it was some guy was a crook or something that we were, anyways. He's like, Robbie said, we're going to be good and mad about this for about 5 minutes. Yep. And then we're going to get back to work. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Time limits. It's never this good. It's never this bad. But we'll get there so long as we don't let it control us. Let me tell you something. If you have 2 trouble-free days in a row, call it a blessing, but don't call it an expectation. Call it a blessing and move on. Don't call it an expectation because they're going to be disappointed. We don't want to be like, I shouldn't have to anymore. I could never, ever again. No, we just stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. And I couldn't help but snicker. I don't know if you saw me snicker when you said talking about science. Me and Chan Man and Tinsley, we quote from Nacho Libre all the time. And as you said that, I was like, I only believe in science. So then I was like, pay attention, Stephen. Focus. Gustavo, focus. All right. Hey, action is key. Action is key in either situation. How can I help someone else? Man, overrides have exploded. How can I help someone else? Man, I can't believe that giant policy canceled. How can I help someone else? Action is key. All right, number 7, as we close this call, this is the commonality of emotionally strong people. They understand and appreciate and grow through the struggles. They understand, appreciate, and grow through the struggles. Think about this. Child learning to walk is a struggle. Think about how bad you and I used to be at walking. I mean, we'd be like, faceplant, right? Struggle. If a child at that time goes, I can't believe that happened. That's so unfair. I guess it's just not meant for me to walk. Oh God, people with Destiny disease. Whew. It's just not meant for me to walk. Guess I never shall. We see how ridiculous that is, right? So we think about the struggles. They're inevitable. Struggles are part of growth. Emotionally strong people understand that that's part of the process. They appreciate the opportunity to grow, and so they grow. They understand that struggle is part of the process. They appreciate the opportunity to grow, and so they grow. This is how you build resilience. Let me tell you something. Resilience is needed because excellence, mastery, all the good stuff we want. Let me tell you where it lives. Can I tell you? We've got an address. We're going to drop a pin so that way you'll know where all the good stuff lives. It lives on a mountain of mistakes, a mountain of discouragements, a mountain of that's not fair. It lives on a big old mountain of that. That's where it is. We drop a pin. Boop, now you know where it is. From my older folks, we got MapQuest directions that'll get you there too. Let's talk about MapQuest in Dallas, cracking up. That's how we used to run appointments. You don't know how good you kids got it with your GPSs these days. We had MapQuest. We loved it. So we got a pin, we got MapQuest directions. It all points to the same place. It's up on a mountain of mistakes, frustrations, discouragements. So that's why we need emotional resilience. This is how you build emotional resilience. It's the process of understanding struggles will come, appreciating the opportunity to grow, and so then we grow. Let me tell you, this is another freedom thing. When we get this part right, understand, appreciate, and so we grow, it allows us to start every day with an emotionally clean slate. When we can start each day with an emotionally clean slate, we are dadgum hitting a 10 on most of these things. And when we are hitting close to a 10 on most of these things, let me tell you something, accomplishment is not all that tricky. It's just a matter of staying in the fight and moving our way there. We're pulling it closer to us. The closer we get to a 10 on these things, we're pulling it closer to us. The further we get from a 10 on these things, we're pushing it further away. Let me tell you something, guys. Holly and I are so grateful for all the friendships that we have in the Alliance. We're so grateful for the opportunity. We're so grateful for everything Andy and Jane have done for us over these last 2 decades plus. We just want to help the next crew. I know this stuff will help you. It helps me. It is helping me. But here's what I'd say. Let's go out. Let's go out and let's get a hold of the rest of the year. We have a key opportunity as we move into September, October, November, December. Records will fall. People will set themselves up for massive 2023. You know what I'm thinking? Might as well be you. Love y'all. Let's get after it.
Record.